Look, we're about to find out the way a lot of not smart people have died in their life with some more Darwin awards. Let's get it.
So when the metal hit his mug, he just sunk in place. 100K Holla, chillin' Bahamas. Come home to your crib and throw in your mama.
What is good, HollaSquad? We are the latest squad on the YouTube platform. Listen, today we got another Darwin award we're reacting to. This is part 9. Embarrassing ways people have died. I ain't gonna hold y'all here too much longer. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that sub button. Let's get it.
Despite all the advancements of modern society, people still find ways to fall through the safety nets and put themselves in danger.
All the way
Some
up
people
his
are
butt,
so
bro.
dumb, no amount of health and safety regulations can keep them around past their self-inflicted expiry date.
Woo!
So without further ado, let's marvel at the unfortunate souls who
We
selected
had some dumb
themselves
people
out
last
of the
time,
gene
bro. We're
pool,
about to see
winning a
how many
posthumous
not
Darwin
smart
Award in
people
the
we have again.
process.
They're both gaming monitors? Okay.
Macho Man's downfall. We all know a guy who cares more about seeming like the
We haven't
manliest
seen this
man
one.
than his own personal safety. But for one unfortunate fellow from Pato Branco, Brazil, wanting to appear tough resulted in the opposite effect, and ultimately, his demise. When the 48-year-old climbed into bed one night, he felt a sudden twinge of pain on his leg. Pulling back the sheets, he spotted a Brazilian brown spider, which, upon being joined in bed uninvited, had bitten him. These little critters might not look as scary as some of our planet's other arachnids, but
Bro,
their
what?
venom packs a seriously painful punch. If left untreated, Brazilian brown spider bites can lead to infections and serious health problems. For this man, though, despite the intense pain, the other symptoms weren't so obvious. At first. Not that he paid his symptoms any mind anyway, as despite his family's
Bro, if I got bit by a spider and got any symptoms, I'm going straight, bro. One time I woke up, bro, and there was a spider. Like, I woke up like this is my bed. I woke up and the spider was making a web down to my face, bro. I was like, hee. Got up out of there, smacked that joint.
insistence, he refused to get the bite checked out by a doctor. Within a matter of days, however, his body had begun to swell up, his legs became virtually unresponsive, and his kidneys began to fail.
That's what he
By the
get.
time he finally put
Shoulda
his
went to the
ego
doctor.
aside, it was too late. He died in the hospital, leaving behind a clear lesson to all macho men.
Facts.
You can outmuscle many things in life, brother, but a venomous spider bite ain't one of them.
Gnarly bail, dude. There's nothing wrong with being a thrill seeker, just as long as the thrills you seek aren't laced with total stupidity.
Facts.
Unfortunately, the thrills this next Darwin Award recipient sought out contained lethal doses of idiocy, far exceeding the government's daily recommendations of a single spoonful. While hitting the slopes at Bogus Basin in Idaho, one snowboarder decided the allocated ski areas just weren't exciting enough, and decided to up the thrill factor in a supremely stupid way.
What is he gonna do?
Without taking any precautions to check for traffic, he decided to attempt to jump
He
over
about
the
to get-
main road leading to the top of the mountain. Unfortunately, this particular road happened to be in regular use, but the bird-brained boarder attempted to clear it
This
anyway.
man about to be get
But when the
clapped by a
trip
truck
proved
or
to be
something,
an utter
bro.
failure, the snowboarder didn't just have the embarrassment to contend with. He also had the SUV coming directly at him with no time to react and nowhere
Crazy.
to swerve to worry about. But he didn't have to worry for too long because he wasn't wearing a helmet, and the impact the SUV made was so severe it killed him almost instantly. Gnarly.
Why would you even try to jump? Now, that's not like stupid. I can see. All right, it is stupid. You should at least let somebody, oh, no, there's a car coming. Don't go yet. Bro.
Holy moly. There are many things that can go wrong in a burglary attempt. The homeowners might catch you in the act. There might be an angry Doberman with a taste for burglars waiting for you inside.
Facts.
They might even fall through the ceiling 24 feet to the floor below. Well, that last one is a little less likely, but it's
The
exactly
Amazing
what happened to
Spider-Man.
one burglar in Nevada in 2019. While trying to cut himself an entry point into the roof of a hair salon in Carson City, he lost his footing, falling straight into the hole he'd just made. With the ceiling being
What are you doing breaking into a damn hair salon? I'm disgusted. I am disgusted.
over 20 feet high, as he fell, the burglar
This
must
can't-
have been
bro.
hoping he'd land in the comfort of a barber's chair rather than on an upturned pair of scissors. But neither outcome occurred, as instead he crashed straight down onto the cold, hard floor. and was killed instantly. Needless to say, there are better ways to get a free haircut, and none of them involve cutting holes in ceilings.
Tripping.
Having a blast. There are many ways a person can annoy their neighbors when living in a small apartment complex. Loud music, annoying pets, and parties are the usual problems. But for an apartment block in Tiraspol, Moldova, one problematic neighbor made a bang that was more than just noisy. On a quiet afternoon in February 2019, residents of the apartment complex were suddenly met with an almighty boom. As glass exploded out from one apartment window into the street below, the emergency services were called to investigate. When police arrived, the apartment block's gas was shut off, as it was initially assumed a gas leak had caused the explosion. But as the police began to piece the mystery together, a gas explosion was quickly ruled out in favor of something much more ridiculous. It turned out the owner of the apartment in which the explosion had occurred was somewhat of a military enthusiast. He had a large assortment of weapons in his room, including grenades, and had somehow...
What the hell are you doing? Bro, I have never, ever said like, hey, bro, you know what we about to get? Some Simtex grenades, the ones from Halo, the sticky joints. All right, we about to get those. Just leave them in my room. I'm not sitting in no facility sleep with bombs. This man, bro.
Now managed to set one off while perusing his collection. The blast from the hand grenade obliterated his apartment, but miraculously left the rest of the complex largely untouched. Unsurprisingly, though, the grenade-toting apartment owner himself was very much dead when the police arrived.
Facts.
Hand grenades. Not even once. Felt cute. Might delete myself. Certain people will go to great lengths nowadays for the perfect Instagram photo opportunity. After all, how are people going to know how much fun their lives are without plastering it all over social media? Sarcastic though my tone may be, this mindset is very much real for some folk. And what's more, desperation for a great pic at any cost has forcibly removed a select few from the gene pool in recent years. One such case happened to a student at Fordham University in New York back in 2019. Late one night, she and her friends had the not-so-bright idea to climb an off-limits clock tower on campus, hoping to snap a few Insta-worthy pics at the top.
How dumb do you gotta be, bro?
Excitement of a photo op or...
Hold up. First of all, you climb up. How you getting down? How? Did y'all...
Just the darkness of the evening, during the ascent, the student made a fatal mistake.
Terrible.
Somehow, she managed to fall out of an open alcove and over the edge, plummeting to the lower roof of the building. With serious injuries sustained from her fall, she died shortly afterwards. She did reportedly manage to snap a few pics before falling, but she never even got to share them with the world. Was it worth it? Unless those pics ever get released, we'll never know for sure. But I'm betting on a firm no. Ride of your life. Some ideas are so dumb, even just hearing about them makes you feel slightly less intelligent.
That's crazy. Why would you do that?
One such idea was brought to life in the city of Zevenaar in the Netherlands.
Bro, I would never go running with the bulls. Bulls roadie, nothing.
His friend, perhaps after watching the televised antics of Johnny Knoxville, Bam Margera and co., decided to tie a shopping cart to a car and go for a ride. Clearly pulling the short straw, one of them clambered into the cart, while the other took the much less treacherous role of driver. As the engine roared into life, the cart rider hesitantly stood up in his humble chariot and prepared to feel the wind in his hair. While he was reportedly able to engage in this unconventional style of surfing for a little while, it wasn't long before the cart began to lose stability.
Oh yeah, it's over with, boy.
Before he knew it, the shopping cart tamer was buckarooed right off, traveling at a significant speed, and landed in a crumpled heap on the tarmac, dying instantly. I could never condone partaking in a joyride of this kind. Why would you even do that, bro? But if you're dumb enough to insist, at least wear a helmet and protective gear, because as this guy learned in the split second before his annihilation, high speeds, tarmac, and human faces are not.
Did they say how fast he was going?
Is this thing loaded? In June 2020, an incident of such outrageous stupidity occurred, it would seem more at place in a wacky cartoon than in real life. At a birthday celebration in the town of Shahapur in the Indian state of Maharashtra, a 28-year-old man decided to take a look through the party host's belongings.
Okay.
Finding what was quite obviously a very real revolver and mistaking it for a toy, he jokingly pointed.
First of all, why you going through my shit? Problem numero uno. Okay? Number 2, you can clearly tell the difference between a real gun and a toy gun. If you ever touched it before, you can tell the difference. Why would you put it up to your head and click it before confirming if it was a fake gun? Hey, look, you deserve it. You deserve it. Big posture check, you know what I'm saying? Back cracked and everything.
Pointed it at himself. Sensing no danger whatsoever and committed to the gag, he pulled the trigger.
Terrible.
As a gunshot cut through the fun atmosphere of the party, guests poured in from other rooms and saw the aftermath. It wasn't pretty.
Why would
the guests were left shocked and disturbed by the incident and were forced to confront 3 very important lessons. Firstly, if you own guns, don't leave them lying around loaded when you throw a party.
No! It's my bag! I didn't leave it laying around. He went through my bag, okay? That's like me leaving it in my dresser drawer and he asked, where's your bathroom? Goes in my bathroom, looks in my drawer, grabs the gun. You were somewhere you wasn't supposed to be. It's your fault. That's not a lesson to the owner. Oh, man.
Secondly, don't invite people to your party with less than 3 brain cells.
Exactly.
And thirdly, even if you suspect a gun to be fake, never hold it up to yourself and open fire before you've double, triple, and quadruple checked with the owner.
Facts.
Treat every gun like it's loaded. Otherwise, at the very least, you may ruin a perfectly good party. And nobody likes a party pooper. Rapid exit. Every once in a while, in the process of accidentally removing themselves from the gene pool in spectacularly embarrassing ways, people actually end up saving lives. For one unlucky man from Somalia, though, saving lives was far
I'm
from
your
his
captain
intention,
now.
and he somehow managed it anyway. The man in question boarded a commercial flight from Abdinati International Airport in Mogadishu, Somalia on February 2nd,
Mogadishu. What a
2016
name that
with
is, boy.
diabolical intentions. His plan, it seemed, had been to smuggle a laptop on board which was fitted with a bomb and detonate it mid-flight, bringing the plane crashing down. He succeeded in getting the bomb.
Why would you do that, bro? People are, bro, y'all are some evil people out there, bro. You literally benefit nothing. Nothing.
Past security, and shortly after takeoff prepared for everyone on board's fiery demise. The terrorist detonated his device and it exploded according to plan. But in a shocking and admittedly kind of hilarious turn of events, he blew a hole in the side of the plane right next to him, which sucked him straight out into the open air.
Bro, you know how dumb my man falling out the sky like this. Watch it, look at the plane going, my man falling like and he's just looking like, how dumb did I have to be to do this?
While a couple of other people were injured, no passengers died, and the plane turned around and landed safely back at the airport. All the while, the world's unluckiest terrorist was treated to a nice flight.
My man got the middle finger up. That's what you get. That's what you get.
Zone, straight down to the ground at terminal velocity. What was left of him was later scraped off the road near Mogadishu, and about as dignified an ending as he deserved.
That's tough.
Hammer time. When in doubt, hit it with a hammer. That's the approach one man from the commune of Boltati in Romania seemed to take to life. At least it's the approach he took when investigating a mysterious metal object he found while exploring the fields near his home. As you can hopefully understand, a hammer is far from the perfect investigative tool for such a purpose. But unfortunately, not everyone is fortunate to have the baseline level of common sense you and I take for granted. The metal object in question was a rusty cylinder that looked something like this, which even at first glance should have begun to ring a few alarm bells in his head. But those alarm bells remained silent, and the air was soon filled with other noises instead.
He started banging a hammer against it.
First, the sound of metal on metal, as he took the object back to his home workshop and gave it an investigatory whack with his hammer. Then, the sound of an explosion, because the object he'd found and proceeded to hammer was a very old, but still very much active, bombshell from a past battle on Romanian soil. With all the grace and decorum of someone trying to tie their shoes with a jackhammer, the man was blown to smithereens in the most literal sense of the phrase. He wasn't a bright spark in life, but he
imagine that's your way. You go out, you at Heaven's Gates, like what are you doing here?
What's your favorite
I was
food?
hammering a bomb
Pizza,
I found on the ground.
Pasta? Sushi?
Bruh.
Barbecue. Feel free to share yours down in the comments below.
Might need some
whatever
sushi,
yours
I ain't gonna
is,
lie.
I'm sure you take
I was feeling
great
pizza
pleasure in
earlier
eating.
when we were
And
watching
why
Harry
wouldn't
Mack,
ya?
but
Food is great, but it's more than
sushi
that.
sounded real good
It's
right
essential
now.
for our continued survival. Most people never forget this fact of life, but one Swiss woman chose to, well, simply ignore it when she ventured forth on an incredibly questionable spiritual journey back in 2011. After watching a documentary about an Indian guru who allegedly survived for 70 years consuming no food, living off sunlight alone, the woman decided to try her hand at the challenge. Now, you might be thinking, but what if the documentary was
fake?
lying? And you'd be right to do so, because that tale was almost...
Bro, you see my man got titties, bro. You don't get titties on your body from not eating. This doesn't happen. Look at my man. He circled, bro. He got a tire around his stomach. That does not come from eating sunlight, okay? That comes from eating desserts, okay? Man, bro.
Most certainly little more than a myth, or at the very least, an exaggeration, as the whole idea goes against every shred of evidence biological science presents us with. But what does science matter when you have faith, right? Well, that's the viewpoint this woman adopted, and she decided to stop eating and drinking altogether. When that proved too tough, she began drinking water again, but continued to resist food. After a few weeks of the practice, she was found in her apartment, dead of starvation. It shouldn't need to be said, but
I'm not saying that's funny, bro, but
otherwise, the human body
she literally
needs
did
food
it
to
to herself,
living.
bro.
Once your body
You did
runs
it to
out of
yourself.
food, it begins digesting itself. Eventually, this stops the vital organs from functioning, and death soon follows.
All right, listen. Even if you could survive off sunlight, bro, why would you stop eating? For what? Food is good. It tastes good, all right?
If there's a legitimate way to get around it, the scientific world is yet to see compelling evidence of it.
That
One
burger
thing
look
that
good, bro.
is certain,
I'm hungry.
though,
I
is
ain't
that
nothing
this
all
Swiss
day.
woman's death was a failed attempt to make a somewhat pointless statement. But anyway, is anyone else feeling hungry all of a sudden?
Yes.
Big Bad Birdie. Despite what you might believe, dinosaurs still exist. Not in the form of giant T-Rexes, granted, though their current forms can be just as scary. Case in point, this bizarre creature known as a cassowary.
I like a
Found
peacock
across
to me.
Indonesia and northeastern Australia, it's one of the largest birds on Earth, reaching up to 6 feet tall and weighing as much as 100.
Hold up, that's 6 feet? That look like 2 foot to me. I need a person to stand next to it. Hold on.
30 pounds. If you don't believe my dinosaur claim, just check out their claws. Scary, right? Well, it's those 4-inch long claws that make up the focal point of this next tale of one man's unfortunate, yet avoidable, demise. While cassowaries are certainly fascinating to look at, they're known for being incredibly territorial. This is something one Florida man should have been aware of,
They're in
considering
Florida?
he bred
Oh,
them
yeah,
on
I'm
his
never
property
going back
near
to Florida.
Gainesville. But for reasons unknown, one day the breeder let his guard down while walking in the enclosure housing one of his cassowaries. In a stroke of misfortune, he fell, and seeing an opportunity to attack, the cassowary leapt forth with those dagger-like claws. Had the breeder been smart like this guy, he would have taken something into the enclosure to put between the bird and himself in the event of an attack.
That bird is a
Anything to
demon,
absorb
boy.
some of the powerful kick's impact, and most importantly, keep those claws away from his vulnerable body would have made all the difference. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The bird overpowered the unlucky breeder and kicked him to death. It's certainly a tragedy and proves that...
Hey, we just watched a Chiseled Adonis video about people getting kicked to death. Look at us here, once again, watching somebody get kicked to death.
Around dangerous animals, letting your guard down even once can be a death sentence. But on the other hand, I would argue that killed by a living dinosaur is a pretty cool thing to have on
Bro, look, I've been around dangerous people in my life, bro. And I don't trust them. I'm not trusting an animal that can kill me to do nothing. I'm not breeding it. I'm not feeding it. I'm not caging it. I'm not, bro, nothing. I don't want nothing. Bro, if I'm driving up a mountain and I see a bear, I'm not stopping to take pictures. It's none of my business. I'm going to keep driving. These people tripping, bro.
gravestone.
Tripping.
Digging an early grave. You don't need to look far on the internet to see examples of people with dangerous jobs throwing all safety measures to the wind. Like this guy, who successfully completed his digging unharmed in spite of his very unstable looking DIY support beams. Or this genius, whose choice of propping tools are one sudden movement away from crumbling like breadsticks, with a side of crushed human for dipping. Not everyone is so lucky, however, and it turns out the most dangerous type of support beam is none at all. That was precisely the construction style chosen by one man in 2018 when he decided to dig a tunnel into a sand dune at a beach in St. Augustine, Florida. He wormed his way several feet into the side of the sand dune and seemed to be having fun. Until his unsupported makeshift tunnel suddenly collapsed on him.
Tough.
The collapse covered him in several feet of sand, suffocating him, and the sudden shock triggered a fatal heart attack, finishing him off. And that, folks, is why even these types of support beams are better than none at all when it comes to digging yourself out of or into trouble.
He didn't think about that,
Reptile
bro.
road trip. No matter how many people fall victim to agonizing and often fatal bites, people just don't seem to get the message to not mess with snakes. Like the bizarre Indian trend.
Delete them. Delete them. Delete them. Okay.
Of snapping selfies with cobras. Or this Florida man whose decision to kiss a venomous water moccasin temporarily turned his face into a marshmallow.
He kissed a water. Look at him. My man went from chiseled face to Jigglypuff. For a picture. Look at you. Delete him.
But even those folks are basically Einstein-level geniuses compared to one man from the Kuala Lumpur district of Malaysia who took a wild python for a motorcycle ride in January 2018. Having passed the 11-foot-long reptile on his return from work, he grabbed a pair of gloves and a sickle from home before returning to catch it. While his motivations for doing so remain unclear, he picked up the snake, holding it by its head to avoid being bitten, and hopped back on his motorbike. Shortly after beginning their road trip, however, the snake began coiling around its chauffeur. Before long, it had constricted enough to pull him off his bike, and despite passersby attempting to pull him free, the python had soon squeezed all of the life out of him. So if you ever take a reptile on...
That's what you get. Like that is a prime example of you deserve it. Okay? You deserve it.
a road trip, take it in a nice car. Because if this story is anything to go by, pythons really seem to hate riding motorbikes. Do you?
Bro, my man grabbed the python like it was a dog. That's what he get, bro. The python body skidding on the ground. Python like, nah, bro, I ain't going out like this. And look, you died. That's what you get. But y'all let me know who y'all thought the dumbest person was. Old girls who climbed to the top of the tower, probably really stupid. I feel like this dude, it was unfortunate. He was working there, right? He just fell. So that wasn't like a dumb way to die. Oh, yeah, nah. This lady, she killed herself. Undoubtedly killed herself. You did it to yourself. She gets the Darwin Award of the day for me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know who y'all giving the Darwin Award today. Giving the Darwin Award away to. Because, bruh, don't care anymore. He just feel bad. Bro, I don't care, bro. They did. It'd be different, like, you know what I'm saying? Man was driving on a motorcycle, stopped, went to go pee, and a snake bit him. All right, that's different. He didn't deserve that. You grabbed a python off the side of the road. First of all, I don't even know why you had the little tool to get it, right? You grab it by its neck, all right? Even though the whole python body is basically a neck. You grab it by its neck, you're holding it, and you start driving. Fam got 18 feet of body left still back there. Fam start wrapping around you instead of like, no, you like, oh, nah, ooh, look at you, oh. You got to buy me dinner first before you start hugging me, and then next thing you know, you're choked out. I don't care. You did it to yourself. You can call it evil. You can call it whatever, maniacal. I wouldn't do it. All right. I don't know why you chose to do it. So that's on you. But make sure y'all smash that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, we out of here.